Aberdeen in recovery.
Aberdeen in recovery.
Aberdeen in recovery.
Aberdeen in recovery. We're here for you. Building that bridge from dependence to independence.
Good afternoon, and a very warm welcome to Recovery on Air on shmu 99.8 FM. My name is John. Delighted to have your company this afternoon. So, as we introduced last week, September is Recovery Month. And here we are only 1 week later, and we already have a couple of updates to let you know about. And I'm just going to throw it over to Dermot to bring us up to date.
Hi, thanks, John. Afternoon to everyone. Unfortunately, we've had to, and we have had to cancel, and we announced last week that the Conversation Cafe event that we were going to organise at Credo on Saturday there, sadly a decision had to be taken midweek for a number of reasons, but probably the main reason was just because of the rise in numbers of COVID transmission. We thought it prudent that we cancel for this period, but it's not. Although the event was cancelled itself on Saturday, it is a postponement. So we have definitely plans to look at that again in October and see what the situation is regards the transmission of COVID cases, which I'm sure everyone appreciates has taken a bit of a spike, and particularly so in Aberdeen. But we will be reviewing that situation again at the end of this month, and if things are looking a little bit more, if the numbers have stopped rising, we will look to reset that date, but we will definitely be holding that Conversation Cafe event. We know how important it is for us and for the people we represent, and we try and support, that we try and find ways to better provide tailored support for family members, and we will be doing so. So although it's been postponed, we will be holding that event hopefully in October, but we won't make any promises at this point. And also, unfortunately, the 3 Forums event that was planned for next weekend, Saturday 18th, I think it is, that has also had to be cancelled. And I'm sure, although it's disappointing and sad, because that's a real fun event. Lots of guys gathering together and eating yummy food and just having fun on that day with a recovery focus. Although it is disappointing that it's cancelled, I'm sure everyone appreciates there's reasons and rationale behind it, and it was a decision that was hard taken, but it was done with the best of considerations. So sadly, these have 2 cancellations, but I'm glad to let everyone know that we got confirmation again today that the recovery walk is going to be going ahead on the 25th, and we will be speaking about that a bit more detail later on in the show. So I'll pass it back to you, John.
Thanks for that update. And yeah, watch this space. We'll let you know of any further developments and a new date for the Conversation Cafe as soon as we can. So September is Recovery Month, and we will continue with that discussion this week, possibly a somewhat unstructured conversation. And I'm joined in this adventure today by Dermot. And also this week, we welcome someone new, Alan. Great to have you here. And let's do the rounds. Let's do the check-in. We'll start with Alan. How are you?
Thank you, John. Yes, as you just heard, I'm a new member with us today, and I'm Alan. And yes, I'm actually great today. I'm feeling great. It's great to have this opportunity to come along and speak to you today. And I hope you're all feeling the same as I am. Yes, I'm in a good place at the moment. Just like to say, recovery is possible, and everybody has got to have that little goals and work to their goals and just take it little steps at a time. Little steps. and you'll reach your goals, little goals every day, just to work along and to get your big goal. And yes, I'm just delighted to be able to speak to you today. So thank you very much, and hopefully I'll catch you all soon, and hopefully we'll all get to see you all in person. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, that's great. Thank you. And great to hear. And really glad to have you with us today. And Dermot, can't forget Dermot, last but not least, how are you?
Yeah, a little bit behind our normal processes, but yeah, I'm good. There is so much happening just now. It's I feel sometimes I'm meeting myself coming backwards. But I think, you know, maybe during part of the show and in the disappointments, sadly, that I had to announce of cancellations of events that people were looking forward to and a lot of planning going into. You know, these stuff happens, and I guess it's very important that we remember that these kind of stuff does happen, and recovery is about making sure that we are maintaining our well-being, so that when disappointments happen, they don't have to be catastrophes. So yeah, being very, very busy, as the whole team here has been, and that's been repeated right across the whole of Aberdeen, the whole of Scotland. I think this has been a long year and a half, and people will be feeling weary. It's been going on for a long time. But resilience and our recovery capital and things, this is why we stress this so much, because when things get tough, things also get hard. So feeling good, feeling positive, lots of good stuff happening. But yes, it's taken its toll a little bit, John.
Positive message about resilience. Absolutely. A good reminder. Absolutely. I think before we get into the discussion, we'll kick things off with a bit of music. And this week we have a special request, and it's an important safety message from Billy Ocean. Oh yes, red light spells danger.
Used to kiss and run. I never wanted love to catch me. I thought I had a heart of stone, but now I'm in the danger zone. I can feel the
listening to Recovery on Air at shmu 99.8 FM. Recovery, a journey of discovery.
Welcome back. And that was Billy Ocean with Red Light Spells Danger. So we're talking about Recovery Month. And just earlier on there, Dermot was updating us on some changes as far as what's planned for Recovery Month, but reassuring us that the Recovery Walk is still a go. So I'll pass it over to Dermot to tell us a little bit more about some details on that.
Okay, thanks, John. Yes, we had an update, or I had an email from Scottish Recovery Consortium, the guys down in Glasgow who are working very, very hard with the Recovery Walk team down in Perth to make this year's walk happen. I will take this opportunity to express my personal thanks to the Recovery Walk Committee, who I know have worked tremendously hard to make this walk happen. I'm sure you can all appreciate that for a long time this year we didn't think it was going to be possible to gather a great number of people together, but it has, down to the efforts of the people who are involved and the persistent knocking on council doors, and as far as you know, up to the point of the recording today. And remember, this is pre-recorded, so we're doing this on Tuesday. It will be aired on Thursday, but as per this precise moment, we are told that the recovery walk will be going ahead. So we will focus on that positive, and we will work forward as if that's the words I was struggling to get out, that it is going to be happening. So in that context, and as per usual, AiR will be providing transport. We've booked a bus to meet us as usual down on the beach boulevard, where the bus will sit and pick us up, and we will be travelling down to Perth for the recovery walk. That bus is free of charge. It is opened and availed for AiR members, others involved in that recovery process within AiR and ADA. It will be a first come, first served process. We will limit seat allocation as per demand, and hopefully we will be able to accommodate everyone who wishes to go down. But these, obviously, it's not a train we've got, it's a bus, and there's a limited amount of seats. So we would suggest that you get in touch with us here. John will be giving all the normal contact details at the end of the show. Give us a shout, and if there is space, you will be availed that opportunity to travel down. Obviously, we can't secure space for 5, 6, 7 people all from one family. That'll be a little bit unfair for others. But if there are spare seats, we will make that known in plenty of time, and hopefully we can fill the bus to go down. As I said, there's no charge for the bus, but we will put a gratuity hat round at some point, and anyone who may be wishing to could contribute something in, and that money will be used to assist in the overheads for the bus travel. So it will be free of charge as a point of use, but anyone who wishes to can make a donation into AiR's kitty, which will all go to help to offset the costs involved. As usual, we will be hopefully, if we can get a source of helium, we will be participating in the recovery village at the end of the walk. Those who have been on the recovery walk previously will know there's a big gathering at the end of the walk, and it's a lovely way to celebrate. It's like a picnic fair day, with that big recovery focus. There's some live music, lots of different stands and stalls, offering various activities from face painting to stone painting to little competitions, to roll the penny competitions. I believe there will be food available. So it's a lovely little party fair atmosphere. and remind everyone that the start of the recovery walk, it kicks off with what's called the Roses in the River ceremony, which is very much to do with memorial for those who have lost loved ones, and in memory of those individuals who sadly and tragically have lost their lives through addiction. And we take some time to honor these people. And the ceremony itself involves, there'll be free roses handed out to people who are attending the ceremony, and there's an opportunity to toss these roses into the river. And it's a beautiful little memorial that's been done in every recovery walk. It starts with that, and then we all gather together, appropriately distanced, and it will be out in the fresh air, and we will parade and celebrate recovery, because we know it's possible, and we want everyone else to know it's possible, and that anyone and everyone can embark on that journey. So I think that's probably as much. Alan, I don't think have you been on a walk, a recovery walk?
Sadly, no, I haven't. So
Okay, are you going to be joining us this year?
I'm not decided yet.
Yeah.
So I'll keeping my options open.
It's always a good idea, Alan. But you know, for those who has attended, and I think even more so because we didn't manage to, because of circumstances, we didn't manage to get last year's done. I think everyone will be looking extra specially, with lots of expectation for this one. So yeah, hopefully I've given enough information for those who may be interested to grasp the opportunity and join us.
Yeah, I think you've sold it very well. Although certainly it would be pretty cool if we had a recovery train, or a train instead of a bus. But but that's excellent to hear. We have transport arranged, and it's all still a go.
And I know there is various things going across happening on a national basis. There's lots, because it's National Recovery Month. I was saying earlier on that things are very, very busy, and preparation time for anything in the day is very limited. So our preparation for today's show pretty much happened 15 minutes before the show started.
Oh, don't reveal that.
Oh, don't. That's a trade secret, John says. We are highly organized and professional in what we do. But there's lots of things to be to keeping an eye out. But I think, you know, it's also a time to be. It has been very tiring, and I'm sure that people appreciate it. I think one of the reasons for our decision to cancel last weekend's event was that it was a limited amount of people who came forward. By midweek, we were still very low in people making notes of interest to come along, and we believe that there's a little bit of still that social anxiety to come out, and it is something we've spoken about on the Recovery on AiR show previously, about that exit
Re-entry.
anxiety, re-entry.
Yeah.
Thank you, John. And that's something I think that's very real, and people are just currently working their ways into that. And that was a pretty major factor in that decision of postponement that we took. Hopefully, given that little bit of time to get more used to the idea that, you know, getting together is actually safe, and the concerns and the anxiety that we've had in this last year, to encourage people that we're on the route out of this now, and there is light at the end of the tunnel. So yeah, we could maybe use the next session, and we'll maybe touch on that terms about remembering that we've actually got through this. We've came through that. There has been tragedies along the way, but you know, our resilience is important to keep focused on future goals and aspirations, just to keep us moving forward. And I think that's very related to everything that we try and do here on Recovery on Air, is about being solution focused rather than getting stuck in our problems. So I'm going to throw it back at John because he's just very kindly batted it back at me.
And I'm just itching to play another tune. So I think it's time to pause for a bit of music. And this one's for Stevie, who can't be with us today. But Stevie, this one's for you from Soundgarden. It's Black Old Sun.
In my eyes, indisposed, in disguises no one knows, hides the face, lies the snake in the sun. In my disgrace, boiling heat, summer stench, neath the black, the sky looks dead. Call my name through black hole sun, won't you come, wash away the rain. Black hole sun, won't you come, won't you come, won't you come. Stuttering, cold and damp, steal the warm wind, tired friend. Sometimes far too long for snakes in my shoes, walking sleep. In my youth I pray to keep heaven send hell away. No one seems like you anymore. Black hole sun, won't you come, wash away the rain. Black hole sun, won't you come, won't you come. Black hole sun, won't you come, wash away the rain. Black hole sun, won't you come, won't you come. Till you all just disappear. Black hole sun, won't you come, wash away the rain. Black hole sun, won't you come, won't you come. Black hole sun, won't you come, wash away the rain. Black hole sun, won't you come, won't you come.
You're listening to Recovery on Air at shmu 99.8 FM. Recovery, a journey of discovery.
Welcome back. And that was Soundgarden with Black Hole Sun, and that's for Stevie. So just before the break, Dermot was making some important points about reentry anxiety. This is something that I think all of us can identify with. And equally important point about resilience. So we'll pick up with that conversation. And anybody want to carry on with, I don't know, experiences of reentry anxiety? Or
I know for myself, not for a while, but I can remember probably the first time I came into town. Well, maybe not the first time I came into town, because I remember the first few times it just seemed it was a little bit like that, the cowboy films with the tumbleweed, like the town centre, which was always such a busy, bustle, hustle place. It was, as everyone is aware, very, very quiet, and not a lot of people going out. But I think the first time I went into town and it had picked up a bit, and there was numbers of people in it, and coming out from one of the centres and coming up onto Union Street, and looking down and seeing that numbers of people again, it was kind of, I feel a little bit unsettled within myself. So I'm certainly aware of that, that sensations I felt, walking out into a crowd has never been an issue with me for a number of years. There was a time in my life that I was very anxious about social engagement, but I hadn't felt that for a long time. But it's that sense of just discomfort inside, and being glad that I was aware enough to see that that wasn't anything untoward. That was just a natural response to something that was kind of new and a little bit strange, and it was just a case of recognizing it for what it was, pushing through it, and it drifted away, not giving it too much focus and not concentrating on it. But I'm sure that's not the case for everyone. I think others may have had sensations different. The fact Stevie had to go away, he had an appointment to attend. I think he would have been able to touch on that anxieties and that levels of anxiety. I don't know, Alan, have you anything come in?
Yes, damn it. Myself, I was pretty anxious as well, coming back into town. And like I have to catch the public transport. That was a great anxiety for me, having to get on a bus where there was other people on the bus. I remember right back at the start, I actually let the buses go past because I was too anxious to go onto the bus because there was so many people on the buses. But like being in recovery, we've got to take and push yourself, get yourself motivated, get yourself going. So it was nothing else, but I had to get onto the bus. So after I kept going on it, just like on my recovery, just keeping at it, it doesn't bother me now going on the bus. I just stick to keep your mask on, and that's what I try to then just sit yourself. And I've got over that anxiety now, and it just, as I say, it just doesn't bother me now. And as we say, it's just like with recovery. We've got to just keep focused, keep ourselves going. Yes, I know, as I said, for myself, it was difficult to start with. But once I got into that, yes, I've got to get it done. I can't just sit in a house all day. I've got to get out there. I've got to get my meetings. I've got to get my groups. I've got to do the things that I want to do, the things that I like doing. And it's not helping me sitting in my house. So I had to get myself going, get myself motivated, and get out there. And for me, it's as we say, we're all different. We're all unique individuals. And for me, it has really helped me and being here now with AiR and getting back into our groups, so we're getting back into more face-to-face. So we're looking to be starting up new groups to get everybody out and get back into socialising with other people. And again, for me, it is great being back, seeing people face-to-face, actually in the flesh and blood. Is for me, it's something special. It is special. You feel, just to feel the energy coming from others. It's so special for me. So yes, I know it's hard for a lot of people, but we can do it. We can do it. Just like with recovery, we can do it and we can get there. So that's all I can say. So thank you and keep working at it. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Alan. That's extremely well put. Some really important points there. I think we all find that a bit of a barrier builds up, a psychological barrier, when we haven't been doing something that we used to do. And it kind of relates back to comfort zones, doesn't it? We get stuck in this case, forced because of lockdown and so on, to be in a little world that's much more restricted, and over time that becomes familiar, becomes the new comfort zone, and then to go back out, to expand out again, there can be quite a psychological barrier that builds up. I think certainly I've experienced that as well. But very well expressed, Alan. I think that will certainly resonate with a lot of people. So I think we will move on to another piece of music. And this one is Dermot's choice. So what have you got for us, Dermot?
I thought I was being so street and hip when I used to introduce the music, Newton Faulkner and stuff, and an artist who I picked up on, but he's been on the go now for a number of years, so he's not so hip and trendy as he used to be when he first kicked in. But Passenger, I first heard him, as I say, a number of years ago, and it was, he had been busking for a number of years, a very well renowned street artist, but through sticking at it and not giving up and facing different adversities, eventually he got his break, and he's now pretty much an international star. But he came from very basic grounds and starting points, and his first album was pretty much him singing with his old beaten up guitar, acoustic guitar, and I'm just so attracted to that kind of music. It's the music I love, because some of the lyrics he has, there's some absolutely golden nuggets in some of the lyrics he's pulls together. So today we have one of his earlier singles. We see, losing the ability to talk. But we have Passenger with Let Her Go.
Well, you only need the light when it's burning low. Only miss the sun when it starts to snow. Only know you love her when you let her go. Only know you've been high when you're feeling low. Only hate the road when you're missing home. Only know you love her when you let her go. And you let her go. At the bottom of your glass, hoping one day you'll make a dream last. But dreams come slow and they go so fast. You see it when you close your eyes. Maybe one day you'll understand why everything you touch surely dies. But you only need the light when it's burning low. Only miss the sun when it starts to snow. Only know you love her when you let her go. Only know you've been high when you're feeling low. Only hate the road road when you're missing home. Only know you love her when you let her go. Staring at the ceiling in the dark, same old empty feeling in your heart. 'Cause love comes slow and it goes so fast. Well, you see her when you fall asleep, but never to touch and never to keep. 'Cause you loved her too much and you dive too deep. Well, you only need the light when it's burning low. Only miss the sun when it starts to snow. Only know you love her when you let her go. Only know you've been high when you're feeling low. Only hate the road when you're missing home. Only know you love her when you let her go. And you let her go. Oh, 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 oh. And you let her go. Oh, 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 oh. Will you let her go? Oh, 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 oh. 'Cause you only need the light when it's burning low. Only miss the sun when it starts to snow. Only know you love her when you let her go. Only know you've been high when you're feeling low. Only hate the road when you're missing home. Only know you love her when you let her go. 'Cause you only need the light when it's burning low. Only miss the sun when it starts to snow. Only know you love her when you let her go.
You're listening to Recovery on Air at shmu 99.8 FM. Recovery, a journey of discovery.
Welcome back. And that was Passenger, Let Her Go. Thanks very much for that, Dermot. And we were speaking about reentry anxiety and resilience.
I think it would be really good if we could pick up on some of that topics that Alan made. The fact that he very openly shared with us, you know, that I was a point in the last year or so that he admitted to letting buses pass him because he was feeling that levels of anxiety that he didn't want to go into that situation, and because he didn't feel secure, he didn't feel safe. And I think that's very relevant. It's certainly a subject that we've touched on so many different times when we've been speaking about coping mechanisms and tools that we can use to address these stuff. But I think it's equally important to recognize how much of an impact that anxiety can be. We've just came through a very difficult period where we've become very used to, we've had to learn to be quite restrictive in our movements, entertain ourselves indoors. We have been, I suppose, in some form, pushed into a bit of a hermited existence, you know, staying indoors. And as John touched on, you know, that's very relative of the comfort zone, which can be great. You know, the comfort zone is what we know, we're comfortable, we're safe, etc. But sometimes that comfort zone can become a little bit of a problem. And an awful lot of that problem lies in your ability to push yourself out of that comfort zone. You're okay when we're in that safe bubble. For a small word, has such a massive impact on human beings. Facing fear, facing the unknown. What if it doesn't work out? But when circumstances start changing and we have need to go out with that comfort zone, our anxiety levels start kicking in. It's maybe not new to everyone, but it's the unfamiliar, yeah, and unfamiliarity engenders fear. Yeah, it kicks off that 4-letter word. This is all things that individuals who have personal experience with addiction, they can probably relate to. You know, that fear of social interaction, We have spoken so much about the importance of connection.
Yeah.
We have spoken so much about that connection, how important it is to be connected. And this last year really affected our ability. We've been lucky, as Alan touched on, we've been lucky that we have had Zoom. But Zoom was a good secondary option, but it doesn't beat that face-to-face stuff. I see you, Alan.
Yes, well, one of the tools I used to get over my anxiety was the positive and the negative. Because I knew the positives are getting on the bus, coming into town and going to my different meetings, my different groups. We all had a positive effect on me. That's what I lacked, was having the personal interaction with people. And I looked at the negative side of it. If I didn't come in on the bus and come into town, where would I end up? I don't know. Maybe I could have ended up picking up again or whatever. I just don't know. I don't want to even think about it. So I just looked at the positives of what could happen and what is happening. And that's what kept me going. I looked at all the positive outcomes that I would get out of coming in the town and coming to my meetings and meeting other people face to face in person. Because that's, well, for me, that's what recovery is about. As Dermot was saying, is having that connection with people and meeting other people and getting on with other people, getting other people's experiences and just listening to other people. And that was important to me. So I just had to push myself and keep myself motivated to get on that bus and just get into town. And it's just looked at the positives, just looked at the positives and how a positive outcome it has had on me. Because I just don't want to think about what would have happened if I hadn't done it. So that's good for me. Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Excellent, Alan. Just a very simple process that we can action. We don't even need to do a written process. We can do it in my head. You know, the positive and negatives. It's a very quick tool that we can put in place to counteract some of that fears. Yeah. So as Alan has said, you know, it's finding mechanisms. It's finding. We refer to tools because, you know, that toolbox is it's a good analogy to use. And as has been touched on so many different times, pushing ourselves through our fears is a solution that we find very beneficial. Staying with the fears, the only thing it grows for me, and I've certainly heard lots of people say it, is the fear. Not pushing through it, the fears just get bigger. It's like we're feeding them with grow more. You know, the less we are willing to approach them, the bigger they get. I've never stepped back from a fear that shrunk. They just always seem to get bigger, and I've got to protect myself from that. Yeah, I have to engage with processes, with actions, and also with others, because in the company of others, I feel more comfortable. I feel so more secure. It's a basic human need. That's why we need to be connected. Yeah, when we're back in the caveman days, you know, going out in the jungle yourself is a pretty scary thing to do because there was big monsters then. You know, it was big monsters. With one bite, it would eat half your body. Boom, boof, a big dinosaur come up and chop you in half, just for a little snackette. so going out on your own, it's a scary thing. You know, facing these fears, these unfamiliar scenarios, etc. So having the connection of others and going out in a bunch, when a big munchy dinosaur comes on and says, "Rah," you can all shout back at it and go, "Rah," and chase the dinosaur away. You know, can make a big collective noise. And that's a very simplistic way of saying the importance of connection. It's a fundamental need. The scenario that we've all lived through in this last year and more has necessitated that we disconnect. So it's stressing the importance of, if you have now opportunities to engage with others, it's to embrace them. It's to embrace them. And yes, recognize that you will feel anxious, you will feel a little uncomfortable. But if you use Alan's tool suggestion, the benefits will overcome the negatives. Yeah. So the things that you will gain from pushing through that fear will far outpass that discomfort as you approach it. And engaging with others, it makes it easier. We see peer example, we see and we hear of others engaging in things Alan touched on. We are actively within AiR being very, very busy to fulfill that timetable and fill up all the slots, all the gaps. We've got some there's new training opportunities coming in, but we know it doesn't, it can't be all work. So we're also looking at some fun stuff to engage in some of that gaps during the day, looking at weekends, opportunities that we can have, I don't know, like little childhood fun days. We'll have gaming competitions. Yeah, we'll have a Ludo tournament. Yeah, and a snakes and ladders competition. Yeah, let's all get around board games and engage with dominoes and cards and all these things that don't need electricity. There's a good thing. But that's the kind of thing we're looking at. Yeah, but we've got a structure to our timetable that includes opportunities to get together, to have that group therapeutic benefit of people communicating with each other. Yeah, so the timetable, the schedule that we've created to this point has got opportunities to come along and participate in the recording, the action part of the media show, but also engage with the planning part of it. But as training opportunities, self-coaching is now restarted. The ADA self-coaching course, that's been regularly run. We have the medication recovery and me meetings. We have women's groups, we have men's groups, but we also want to put in some fun. And that's one of the things that we tasked our Alan to develop and look to create these new opportunities, things that we haven't done. We've thought about these things in the past, but we'll actually look to put these things into practice. And I can see Alan nodding vigorously with a big smile on his face. So I know he's got some plans under his belt. You want to share anything with us, Alan?
Well, as Dermot says, yes, we have got some big plans coming up. So it's, as Dermot says, we're looking to fill up the gaps, fill up spaces, so people can't say they've nothing to do. And yes, I know if it was like myself, we'll feel bored. And yes, we're always looking for something to do. So yes, we've got some good ideas we're coming up with. And as Dermot was saying, hopefully we'll get some board games. We could have some Scrabble champions out there. It's looking good for like the Scrabble, or yes, any of that old board games that we used to play when we were kids. A bit of fun, yes. Plus we could have some serious quizzes, yes, to keep the old brain going. Good. We can rewire our brain, so we can get that, yes, get thinking again, and have some quizzes just to keep us active. And yes, well, because we're always told to, yes, we keep exercising. Yes, do not go to the gym or whatever, go for walks. Yes, that's keeping our body physical. Yes, but we've got to keep exercise our brain as well. So yes, I'll have some nice quizzes as well for you. So I'll be busy doing that. Yes, I won't make it too hard for you to start with, but once you keep coming along, and they will get them a bit harder. So yes, Watch this space, as they say. Thank you.
Well done, Alan. Great stuff, great stuff. I love to hear your enthusiasm. And here's a shout out just before we go into my last sort of track. I keep suggesting to these guys, and the only person that remembers what I remember is Alan. Now, that's probably because we are both of the same kind of age. I can remember as a child going on what was called a Beetle Drive, and it was a big family thing. It was always families, and it was sandwiches and biscuits and things involved. It was like a family tea. But this Beetle Drive involved, I can't remember if it was questions or tasks you had to do, and you gathered for every successful thing you achieved, you got a bit of the beetle. You got the head or the arm or a leg, and the idea was that you worked yourself around the hall, because it was always a church hall, and you worked around until, and the winner was the team that got the whole beetle together. So if anyone out there knows what I mean by a Beetle Drive and has got the rules, get in touch with the info at. Okay, we'll pass it over to John, and he can give you the details to get in touch with all the rules for playing or running a Beetle Drive.
Okay, yes, watch this space. Well, thanks very much, Dermot and Alan. It's been a good chat. So just some information now. If you'd like to learn more about Aberdeen and Recovery, who we are, what we do, you'll find the latest, best information on our website, and that's www.aberdeenandrecovery.org. You can follow us on social media. On Twitter and Instagram, we are Republic_AiR, and on Facebook, we are Aberdeen and Recovery. You can catch up with previous episodes of Recovery on Air on our YouTube channel. Just head along to YouTube and search on Aberdeen and Recovery. Our channel will top the list. And as always, we'd love to hear from you. You can contact us through social media or give us a call on 01224 638 342, or drop us an email, and that's chatterbox@aberdeenandrecovery.org. If anyone out there is in need of more urgent advice, please contact Alcohol and Drugs Action Helpline, and that's a free phone number, and it's 0333 344 8355. And that number again is 0333 344 8355. And a couple of other helpful numbers for you. Alcoholics Anonymous, 0800 917 7650, and Narcotics Anonymous, 0300 999 1212. So that's it from us for now. Thanks for listening, and please do join us again next week. That's Thursday, 2 p.m. for Recovery on Air, right here on shmu 99.8 FM. And finally, to play us out this week, well, this is The Summer Side of Life from the iconic Gordon Lightfoot.